the storm with your heart. Play the storm with your heart.
All right, let's transition to another NFL topic. Trevor Lawrence just got paid. He was able to get a extension, $275 million extension. My God. Um, he is now the highest paid quarterback, actually highest paid player in the NFL, and he's averaging 55 million per year. That's the average on the contract. That's more than any other quarterback. He is taking home, I believe it's 142 million upon signing, fully
Yep.
guaranteed. My God. Um, just your reaction to the contract. How do you feel about this?
Hey man, I've been saying the price of the brick goes up every single day. You don't get these deals done. And Jerry, Steven, you gonna have to make some tough decisions, buddy, because the time is ticking and there's other QBs still that's still going to get paid coming up. So if you want to sit there and twiddle your thumbs in the office trying to play stupid money games or whatever, you're gonna pay the stupid money price because you either not gonna have no have a QB, or you're gonna have to fork over 60 million. So hey,
Mm.
the choice is yours. So but Trevor Lawrence, unfortunately, you just have to pay the market. I don't think Trevor Lawrence has done enough to garner being the highest paid QB, but the way of the market, where you got to pay what the market price is. So if you want to have a QB you think could be consistently top 10, that's the price you got to pay. So it was pretty inevitable, and yeah, it's just the game.
That is the game. I listen, the Trevor Lawrence deal, you can feel however you want to feel about Trevor Lawrence. Does he deserve the deal or not? But like you said, the market is what the market is, and I think the Jaguars, they're looking at it from a perspective of potential. They think that Trevor Lawrence last year was just an anomaly, and that he'll get back to his form. All we have to do is tweak stuff from the offense, and we'll get better from there. Offense line gets a little bit better. He'll be a top 10 quarterback again. And they feel like with his talent, with his ability, with his arm and mobility, that he'll be able to live up to the contract. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. We'll get to the Trevor Lawrence thing a little bit, but I want to touch base on just in terms of like quarterback markets and these teams just reluctantly wanting to pay their quarterback top end money, like what the Jaguars did with Trevor Lawrence. I have to say this. I'm getting sick and tired of these organizations thinking that you can continuously just say, we're going to leave it alone. We're going to wait until the last hour to offer a deal to do something about the quarterback. I'm getting sick and tired of these organizations and that mindset because it's just not realistic. It really isn't. So I'm looking at the Dolphins with Tua.
Mm.
If I'm the Dolphins, I'm not paying Tua that money. I'm not paying them 50 something million. So what did
Me
they do?
either.
What did they do? They brought him back. Why? Trade him. Get him out of your building. Trade him. Somebody's going to want Tua because he's a top 15 QB in the NFL. He's a Pro Bowl caliber QB. He's averaging really good stats for a QB. There's a sucker out there. Trade him and trade up in the draft. Try to get, I don't know, maybe you could try to, if you're lucky, maybe a JJ McCarthy might slip in your hands. Maybe a Michael Penix shoot. Who knows? But you cannot continuously think that you can wait until the last hour to pay Tua his money because he's going to want over $50 million because that's what the market bears. They gave Trevor Lawrence that much money. What do you think Tua? What do you think Tua looking at? What? Trevor Lawrence getting 55 M's? I deserve that much. I'm putting just as good numbers as he is. So
Yeah.
well, like, come on now, bro. Like this whole idea of we're gonna wait until the last minute, we're gonna see if he can still prove it after he's been in the league for 4 years. It took you 4 years to realize that Tua is just not that guy. Matter of fact, this is about to be his 5th season, and you still don't know if he's the guy or not. Are you stop kidding yourself? You're you're being delusional. You're thinking that he could be something that he's not. He's not worth the money. So trade him away. Trade him away. Get a rookie QB. It's okay. It's okay. We get it. But you can't just sit there and try to deny what you've seen these past 4 seasons. And that's what these organizations have done, like the Cowboys. Dog, Dak, give him his money. If not, trade him. If you don't believe in him, trade him. Get some
Well, he has a no
capital.
trade clause, but I'm sure. But from
He
what
would
I'm hearing,
definitely. Hey,
from what I'm hearing, he would waive that trade clause.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, Dak. Even if they say, hey, Dak, listen, we're not going to give you the money that you want. So can you waive that no trade clause, or just tell us what team you want to go to, and then we could figure out a deal. I guarantee you, Dak would be like, all right, bet, let's do it. Guarantee you that. I don't have any sources, but I guarantee you Dak would be willing to do that as long as they send it to a team that he wants. Dallas Cowboys just keep making the wrong mistakes, and the Dolphins are doing the same thing. It's like it's so simple, but these organizations are so scared. It's a bunch of just wimps out there, a bunch of chickens out there that are scared to lose their job, even though you're not going to go far with the quarterback at the helm. You pay Tua all that money. What's going to happen next? You're not going to have a defense. You're not going to have an offensive line because you're paying him over 50 M's. He's going to take out most of the cap. It doesn't matter how you manipulate. Oh, we're going to only pay him little money in the beginning, and then we'll pay him all the money in the back end. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to have to give him his money eventually. And if he only has a certain floor or a certain ceiling, where you're not going to be able to go to the Super Bowl or go to a championship game, what's the point? There's no point. You trade him. But nope, these teams are like, we're going to stand pat. We drafted him in the first round. We drafted him number 5 overall, so we have to stand pat. We can't tell people that we're wrong. We can't admit that we're wrong. That's just stupid business. That's just stupid business. And that's why all these teams are always in that predicament. That's why all these teams are constantly making the same mistake over and over again, because they think that way. They think that, oh, if we're just good enough, if we're just in the mix all the time, that's enough for us. No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's a losing mentality.
The funny thing to me is these teams swear that they're trying their best to build a roster within the QB's rookie deal, but then when it's time to pay him this money, they're like, we're not going to pay you just yet, but maybe give us another year or so. And they don't improve the roster, is they just run it back and then they get the same result. And it's not like, and the funny thing about the Dolphins situation, it's not like they're like this elite drafting team. Like all their picks have been like pretty surefire. Like, okay, we are picking in like the top 10. Of course, this player is going to be good. So it's not like they're like getting steals in later rounds. Like you have to figure something. Cause if you ain't getting no player acquisition in free agency and you're not drafting all that well, what exactly are you doing? Trying to drag this on along. Like it's like the team that's really doing it the right way in regards to taking advantage of it's the Texans. They got CJ Stroud so much help, it's not even funny. They went and signed Daniil Hunter. They went and traded for Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is going on? They got help. I think they got some extra running back help too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got Mixon.
Yes. So it's like they are really the ones doing it right. And these other teams that got QBs that was on, they just was sitting there just like, like what are we doing? Like, yeah, I hate this whole kicking the bucket down the road crap. And because then, man, that price gets steeper and steeper.
Oh, it's just dumb, man. It's just dumb,
Jerry Steve, and this is going for the same thing happening to wide receiver position too. CD trying to get his money. The Jones is sitting on they behind not doing nothing. Brandon Ayuk trying to get his money. The 49ers like,
If you're not gonna pay him the money, trade him. What are you waiting for? Like it's that simple. If you're not willing, if you're hesitant to pay a player, there shouldn't be no hesitancy. Like it's either, oh, I'm 100%, I feel like he deserves his money, or I'm not. It's simple as that. There shouldn't be no hesitancy when it comes to paying a top guy money. Like CD, there shouldn't be no hesitancy. Micah Parsons, you should be like, we're gonna give you your deal like right now. Like what is there to wait for? It's either he deserves his money or not. And if you feel like we can't abide by what you want, trade him. You're gonna get a lot of capital. That's just the business we're in. And guess what? You're gonna get some valuable draft picks back. And if you have a good draft, if you have a good scouting department, which I believe the Cowboys do have a good scouting department, you'll be able to find a quality, maybe not on that level, maybe not on the caliber of a CeeDee Lamb, but you'll find another quality player to replace them. So what are you tripping about? Either he deserves it or he doesn't. It's that. It's just simple as that. And these teams just, for whatever reason, they want to play hardball. You cannot play hardball. You
and you know
cannot.
what else uh, irks me is when teams trade for players they know want contracts, and then
That's on
when
Reddick.
they don't show up, don't show up to mandatory training and all that stuff. They're like, "Why isn't he here? You big dummy! You traded him because he obviously got traded from the Eagles because he wanted to get paid. So why did you trade for him and not immediately offer him a contract? At
Damn, he
least
only
the Bears
cost
when they
one first.
traded Montez Sweat, they said, okay, we're gonna pay him right now.
Yeah, exactly. And he's worth the money. He was actually really good for them.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, damn, Hassan Reddick only costs like, what was it, a third round pick? Damn, that's a steal. Yeah, but he's
Hmm.
a contract year though. And
Exactly.
he's gonna cost a lot of money because he's a pass rusher. It's just dumb mistakes, man. It's just dumb mistakes. These organizations. That's why I'm glad I'm a Packers fan, because at least we have our moments where we do some dumb mistakes. Like, some organizations, they have their moments, but for the most part, when it comes to the Packers, at least they understand. Like, all right, we can't give you all the money that you want, Devontae, but we'll just trade you. We'll get a first and we'll get a second. Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you want all that money? Yeah, sorry, we're just gonna trade you. Um,
Yeah.
like they have a plan B.
You
Like
gotta cut your losses.
there's a plan B in place. It's not just, a plan A and then there's no backup plan. Like, no, we have a backup plan in case things don't work out. And a lot of these teams, they just don't have a backup plan, and that's just the problem. And that's why a lot of teams just don't win. They
And a
just
lot of teams are just afraid to do stuff to as preventative measures for like the Packers when they drafted Jordan Love. People was like, "What?" But
hmm
then I look at y'all got rid of your QB and it was immediately back in the playoffs. So it
Yep.
all worked out.
Yep.
And then he and y'all gave him some money, and it wasn't very much.
Continue. Uh, yeah, yeah. So, these just organizations, they just, for whatever reason, they just think they could get over on these players, and that's just not the case. When you have a great player, you have to pay your great player what the market bears, and if not, trade. And these teams, for whatever reason, they want to continue to play hardball. They think that, oh, we're just going to do a franchise tag, and that's that. Cincinnati Bengals with T. Higgins, they got over on him. He signed that franchise tag, but I guarantee you next season, that's not going to be the case. T. Higgins will be gone. And if they're smart, they trade T. Higgins and not just let him walk and stuff like that. And yeah, man, it's just these teams. I just don't get it. We'll see what the 49ers, we'll see what's going to happen with Brock Purdy, because I'm interested to see how that contract negotiation goes. Will he
And
be the next one up
and,
for the highest
and
paid?
and my thing is these orgs try to play us like we slow or something. Um, so you mean to tell me the 49ers, they're like, oh yeah, we want to keep Brandon Ayuk. We want to keep, but then you draft Ricky Purcell with your first pick in the draft?
Mm-hmm.
What? Listen, you can fool people that ain't paying attention. You can't fool the people that are paying attention. That sounds like a bunch of foolishness.
Yeah, I think
And
what it
honestly,
is. Yeah, go ahead.
they paid the wrong player. They paid Debo, who's not even a real wide receiver who can run real routes, versus the guy who can actually play the position and get consistent separation.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can replicate what Debo does well though.
But think about it. Debo, they paid Debo because he was a ball carrier, and as well he could do a lot of things in screen game and stuff. But
Hmm.
then you went and traded for Christian McCaffrey, who does those things but better than him.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but now you have
So I
two of those
mean,
guys.
exactly. And Debo's production has been on a decline. And it's time in the playoffs. We're like, where's Debo at? They're not really getting him involved at all.
Hmm.
So I mean, something's got to give.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I just look at the 49ers situation right now. They're going all in. That's just what it looks like with me. You know, you draft a wide receiver in the first round, and you're not trying to trade Brandon Ayuk right now, and you're not giving him the money that he wants. They're probably looking at a situation where, okay, this is our last dance in terms of Brandon Ayuk and having all these gifted receivers on one team, and then we'll probably trade him after the season's over, or we'll let him walk. Same with the Bengals as well with T. Higgins. You know, they drafted a receiver in the third round, I believe it was. They're probably going to draft a receiver again in next year's draft. They're looking at it from the standpoint like, okay, let's go all in, let's lock in, let's try to win the Super Bowl this year, and then T. Higgins will probably be gone by then. So I think that's what the 49ers and the Bengals are looking at right now, and that's why they're trying to hold they're holding their wide receivers because they're looking at it from a like, okay, this is the last year we're going to have them there. And is it fair? No, but I can understand from a GM perspective how they look into it. I think the 49ers, they have sort of they in terms of the way that they've done it, they have helped themselves because they drafted a receiver in the first round. We'll see if that receiver can replicate some of the just the production that Brandon Ayuk has been giving the 49ers for the past two seasons. And with the Bengals, we have no clue. So, yeah,
Truthfully, if
man.
I was the Bengals, I wouldn't pay T. Higgins. He's
No.
always hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think he's a number one. I
Well,
know that's the debate. I know people will say, "Oh, T. Higgins, he could be a number one." I don't think he's a number one because I've seen him without Jamar Chase, and he was okay. He had his flashes, but he was never really consistent for me enough. I don't think he could be a number one. I think he's a great number two, but as a number one, like Stephon Diggs, remember Stephon Diggs, he left Minnesota, he went to Buffalo. He is a number one. He was a number one in Buffalo. T.
yeah.
Higgins, do I see that same production? I don't know. I don't know. That's hard to say. Hard to say. Let's transition.
Just let me be me.